So now that season 6 is finally finished, I've been going through the last couple seasons. I've been doing like recaps and stuff, and I've just come to the conclusion that Serena really just truly does not deserve kind of the redemption arc she got near the end of season 6. I was trying to put two and two together and go through like the timeline of the series, like how much time passed between each season, and honestly, not that much time. Because like honestly, for us, we've been watching the show since what, 2017? Not that much time has passed in the entire show. And so you just think about what her character has gone through. And Serena is a very interesting character. I really like the character of Serena because she's such a good villain. She's so easy to hate, but she is just so vile. And I feel like the only kind of redemption that she got was because she was thrust into different situations that forced her to look inward, forced her to have empathy for other people that she would have never gotten to on her own. She implemented the system in Gilead. She basically was like the author of Gilead. Like a lot of this stuff happened because she wrote it in her book, or because she was behind the scenes whispering stuff behind the scenes, you know? Initially, the system worked for her, but then things started happening that made her question her position in Gilead. Like when she read the Bible in front of the council and she got her finger cut off, like things like in season 5 when she was pregnant and she was in Canada and she got sent to stay with the Wheelers, like that commander and his wife. They treated her like a handmaid. Like she didn't really have to think that much about June. Her circumstances, like in her care at the Waterford house, she didn't really have to think about June's feelings until she started like dealing with the same crap that June had to deal with in the Wheeler household. Like that woman was awful to her. That was a terrible situation. So like you can watch Serena go through situations like that. You can have empathy towards her because you're like, oh, that's terrible. And you like remind yourself like, oh, she's one of the reasons that it's set up this way. Like she is kind of the reason why this happens to women in this show. I mean, there are just so many things that happened to her through this show. Like she hasn't had like the best luck. Again, it was kind of her own choices led her down certain paths. Her own choices led her to be in the weird situations where she really had to have empathy for other people, think about other people's situations, kind of change her mindset. Because like even when she sells out Fred in an attempt to get her daughter back that is not actually legally her daughter, she kind of screwed herself over. Like that was her decision that backfired on her, you know, and then she got put into custody. So many things have happened to this woman that I can watch as a viewer and just be like, yeah, like I feel for her in certain situations, but overall, I just think she's a bad person, and I don't think she necessarily deserved June's forgiveness. I mean, that's the thing she wanted throughout the end of the show. She really wanted June to forgive her. She asked multiple times for June to forgive her, and obviously she wanted that forgiveness so that she could kind of let herself off the hook. She could feel better about herself, and June finally gave her that grace in the finale. She gave Serena that forgiveness, and like honestly that was for the betterment of June, because June forgiving Serena kind of helps her wipe the slate clean, move on. A huge step for June. Like she was able to do that for herself, and like that was so kind of her to give Serena that grace, that forgiveness. That was a huge thing for June. But did Serena really deserve that? No, she didn't. She really didn't. Because we can argue that she did attempt to make things a little bit better in season 6, but she still went back to New Bethlehem, where there were still handmaids present. She went through all that, almost becoming a handmaid herself at the Wheeler household. She went back, married a commander, expected things to be different, kind of tried to play nice with the handmaids at her wedding, when really like just becoming what she used to be, a commander's wife. She wanted the status, she wanted to be seen with respect, and that's why she went back. She tried to kind of regain some of her old status. And it wasn't until she was threatened, it wasn't until her new husband brought in another woman, another handmaid, did she think like, oh, I don't want to live this life. And I truly believe it wasn't necessarily out of concern for that handmaid. I think it was out of concern for her having another situation like she did with June. She didn't want to see another woman have sex with her husband. She was offended because she can have children. Why did her husband have to bring in a handmaid at all? I think there were complicated feelings for her, and maybe like 20% of those feelings involved her caring about that handmaid. And I do think like 80% of her anger on the night of her wedding was primarily just selfish. Just her going back to become a commander's wife. She hasn't necessarily changed that much. Oh, she leaves the show. She is a refugee. She is a single mother. She is with her son. You feel kind of bad for her because she's just all on her own. She doesn't really have any resources other than just her child, and that's how she's going to dedicate her life. She's going to be a mom. Again, I don't necessarily feel that bad for her, because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, she got up pretty well. She's not in prison or something for her war crimes, just is living her life. I just feel like Serena's redemption arc is not really earned. But it is an interesting character. It has been an interesting story to follow. I am glad that June did give her forgiveness at the end of the season, just because that was for June and June alone. Didn't need to do that, but she did it for her own self-improvement. And I think she did show Serena lots of empathy, even though didn't need to, even though there's still so much tension there. They ended things well, which is great. But again, this woman does not deserve any prizes. Again, not that much time passed in all the seasons of The Handmaid's Tale. Not enough time passed between like her doing some absolutely horrific and vile things warrant us really caring that much about her as a person. Maybe I am just too salty and I need to work on myself, but overall, I think her character got off pretty good. Like, she didn't have to deal with that much stuff near the end of the show. Because again, everything she did deal with was kind of due to her own making. I don't know. What do y'all think?